What's up? Welcome to, I guess, kind of the first video of this channel. Today, we're looking at my race bike. Or I guess just a souped up mini bike with a Predator 212 on it. It's been through a little bit of an iteration phase. This would probably be the third or fourth iteration that it's gone through. Just with the way it looks and everything else and how it's configured. This bike has a little bit of a story. So I bought it when I was in 8th grade for about $50. It actually belonged to a good friend of mine, and he sold it to this other guy. And he was talking about it one day, and he said, yeah, I blew up the engine. I ran it into a tree or something like that. And I was like, I'll give you $50 for it. And he was like, alright, done deal. Come get it. And I was like, say less. So, the week I picked it up, I was pretty stoked because it was like my first toy and I was really into mini bikes and stuff like that. I just wanted a project to work on. This bike has been a true both love-hate relationship just because we were broke and we just bought parts just to buy parts and just threw it on it. So the first weekend that we decided to go do something with it, we went to Harbor Freight and we got a 79cc Predator engine, mainly because it was cheap. As I said, we just pretty much bought anything that was cheap and we thought would work. It was a 79cc Predator engine. It was about $100. We used the stock clutch that was already on it. And being that the stock mounting places from the old engine were not the same for the Predator. Actually, they kind of made it worse because this was made for like a 96cc engine, but that little guy just didn't fit. So we drilled holes in the mounting plate and pretty much just slapped it together from there. I think the night that we bought it, we didn't have like a throttle cable or anything else. All the other ones were just trash that were on it. So our idea was we tied a piece of string to the throttle, and then at 3 a.m. in the morning, I live in a neighborhood, by the way. 3 a.m. in the morning, you just hear this mini bike with a straight piped Predator on it going down the road as I'm holding the throttle wide open, and it stops when I get to the end of the road because the string has broke. The string didn't last. That didn't last long, and it was pretty boring. We actually lasted with that throttle technique for a good like 2 weeks, and then we decided this isn't working, and I ordered an actual twist grip that I rinky-dinked together through the engine mounts. I think I might have a picture of it, but basically, well, engine mount. I say, hi, post chase here. So what I was trying to say is that I was talking about this little thing. This is connected to the governor on the top of the engine. Basically, there's like a gas tank mount. It would come in from this side, and I drill it out a little bit so it would fit. And then I drilled out this hole, just cut a slit right there so the wire would just snap in. And then when you went to use the throttle, it would just pull that back, and that would be how your throttle would work. Pretty simple. That was iteration number 1. Iteration number 2, we decided, yeah, let's add some color to this thing. Kind of spice it up a little bit. That was a really bad idea. It looked absolutely trashy. It was so bad. I think we said we're gonna do this in a night. So what we did, we didn't even buy like paint thinner or anything. We just kind of started sanding it down with just sandpaper, and hoping that would be enough. It wasn't. It was just a rattle can paint job that took just 2 days to 2 days to work on. So the first night we sanded, sprayed it with primer, and then the primer looked kind of cool because it was like this army green kind of color. And then the next day, once the primer was all put on, we just sprayed it orange. It was ugly. I'd have to say that. It was really ugly. Oh, man. But yeah, it went along for a couple years. I had the 79 on it, and then pretty much just stopped riding it because parts kept breaking, and I just didn't want to replace them anymore. And we weren't really riding it as much, so it stayed in the closet for a little bit. And that's a project for another day. Don't worry, bud. We'll get you back up and running soon. Once I decided to dig it back out again, I had already swapped the other Predator 212 that I had on my race mower that I was trying to build. And I put it on here just jankily. It worked. It had a 30 series torque converter on it, and it just it was pretty sweet. It would pop wheelies if you weren't careful, and you'd die on it if you lost control. And the 30 series torque converter belt was too tight. It pretty much was engaged all the time. And it was an Amazon CVT, go figure. But yeah, it was amazing until the crankshaft threaded. And this is the same engine, so I can actually show you where it messed up this time. Right around in there. We messed... Come on, focus. Focus. There we go. Right in there. See those threads in there? That's where you just kind of screw on like your driver pulley, your clutch, whatever. The problem we had, the bolt kept backing out, and we kept putting it on with like an impact wrench. And every time we did it, I guess one time it just decided to mess up the threads, and the bolt wouldn't go more than like this much into it. And so we kind of trashed that motor until I put it on something else, and the rest is history. This sat as a bare frame for quite a while until I got to it. I gave it this kind of nice white paint job, and I'm going to do a red, white, and blue kind of theme. Already got the red, white, and blue Go Power Sports sticker on there. Red adapter for the intake, red caliper, obviously. Red seat. I originally had a black seat for one of these, and Go Power Sports sells the Mega Moto 80 parts, so I just picked one up off of there. Granted, I had to sign up for an email to get emailed when it came back in because it was out of stock for quite a long time. And we replaced the front forks with adjustable forks because this thing is an absolute atrocity to ride on the dirt, just because before it was a stiff chassis and it had no suspension, so every bump made a difference. So these will hopefully be good enough. And yeah, we got mag wheels on it now with some all-terrains on it. These are not the same ones that came with it. I still have those as an extra set, but these are two-piece wheels, and I think they're pretty sweet. They definitely look better. Adds a little bit of character to it. But yeah, other than that, that's what she looks like so far. And this will be video number 1 that I'm gonna post about this thing, because I also have a new sprocket coming for the rear that'll hopefully make it probably go about 100 miles an hour. We're gonna see. And yeah, all the parts I hope are gonna come this week. I will be making another video putting it together, but once those get here, we're gonna have some fun. I'm hoping so, and hopefully it can just be done and out of my mind, because I've spent so much money on this little mini bike, and I'm kind of done. And I'm hoping this is the last time I have to ever do anything to it. I won't really ride it that much. It'll probably stay down here, because then again, it's my first project. I want it to look nice, just for my pleasure. And yes, I'm not going to treat it like a show car. It's going to get ridden a little bit, but mainly I want to keep the miles off of it, because I've gone through so much stuff to get to this point, and I'd really just like to leave it alone. But yeah, catch up with you guys in the next video. See ya.